What's up, everybody? This is the one and only Jodecideion, and I'm here today with my man, Nintendo Ultra. And this video, if you can't tell by the footage right now that you're watching, we're talking about Xenoblade. And there's no one better on YouTube to talk about Xenoblade with than Nintendo Ultra because he is the keeper of the Monado. What's going on, man?
What's up?
All right, man. Well, you can't see the video because I'm doing it right now, but basically I'm just showing highlights of the game, the various areas in the game, the characters, just gameplay, things of that nature. But I want to talk about the game in general. And like I said, you definitely jumped out there in the front lines discussing your love for this game. This is the game you want. Sulk in the next brawl. You're saying that the Monado is the best video game sword ever, better than the Master Sword, better than the Keyblade and everything. And so I just want to get your insight on the game, man. Why has Xenoblade touched you so much?
Cause the story and the and how how the game looks,
Now, like I said, this video is gonna be showing highlights, and I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't played this game. But at this point, if you haven't played this game, you haven't bought this game, you haven't jacked this game, whatever, then you're never gonna play the game anyway. So if you get spoiled, sorry for you. But I feel you on the. Now, I'll talk about the look later, but I want to talk about the story. I like video games to have a story, and they don't have to be too complex and everything. But I do like a little content. I like a reason why I'm playing the game. You know what I'm saying? And the main thing I love about RPGs, especially the Japanese kind, and Japanese games in general, their games are always feel like they could be animes. You know what I'm saying? And so, first let me say this: I haven't beat Xenoblade yet. I've kind of taken a break from playing games in general because it's been real life been calling me, been real busy.
Yeah.
But I'm 180 hours into the game. I'm like almost level 80. I'm right at the point before you go inside the Binance, the enter the Binance for the second time.
Yeah.
And so there's still a lot of part of the game I still haven't played yet, and I still need to do. But still, overall, I got the gist of what the game's about. But the main thing, like I was saying, is what I love about the game. I love how it feels like an anime. I mean, I would love if somebody, Madhouse, somebody took this, made it into a 2-season 52 episode anime series. Because I mean, it's that stories, the characters, is that entertaining, it's that good. And I'm gonna ask you a question, Ultra. How do you play the game? Do you play it in the UK English dub, the Queen's English, or do you play it in Japanese with subtitles?
The UK English dub.
Okay. And see, I'll be honest with you. I play the Japanese, and it's nothing against the English dub. It's just that, like I said, it felt so much like an anime to me. I had to get that full experience. And I'm telling you, on the anime side, like I said, I'm not gonna judge the English dub because I didn't really experience it too much. So I don't know how well it is, and how much it adds to the game. But I'm gonna tell you, that story, those characters, the Japanese dub, when you got my man who plays Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z Japanese, and you got my man who plays, every villain ever created. See Cell, he's Emperor Britannia from Code Geass. He's Ultimate Rugal from Street Fighter. He's Bison from Street Fighter. Ultimate Rugal from King of Fighters. Bison from Street Fighter. He plays all the villains. When you got him playing, Metal Face, and you have, like I said, the man plays Vegeta playing Dunban, who is like one of the newest G characters in video game there is. You just don't get better that experience, man. And so, I feel you on the story, just where things happen. The basically, the whole setup of Sulk being the keeper of the Monado, and it kind of found out something else behind the scenes, dealing with him and the sword. To see that at first you think it's a basic war between these humans or whatever, and the organic and the non-organic characters. The people from the
Mechanis?
Yeah, thank you. And the people in the
Yep.
bodies and everything, don't go head to head. It's more than that. You know, at first you get basically robot versus humans. You know what I'm saying? That's the premise you get from the very beginning. But then you kind of find out it's so much more than that. And all the characters you get, of course, you know the cult. I would say cult based, but my man, guys, been watching I played. I kind of I'm upset that I never remember all these names. Sulk's boy. You know what I'm talking about?
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan.
Ryan time.
That was said. You know, he's like a cult. He has a cult following now. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so, you know, when you got characters that touch people like that, man, you know it's something to the game more than just being a video game. And so, you also was commenting earlier about you enjoy the look of it. And when you mean look, what exactly do you mean? What are you talking about? The look?
You know, like the scenery, like when you get to the plains, like that's amazing. Like that blew me away.
Exactly. I mean, I totally agree with you. You know, the open world part of this game is just the main thing that I just fell in love with. You know, I've played I played a lot of games where I felt like if I could just walk around the scenery and do nothing else, I was fine. You know, I say this in a lot of my videos, but GTA 4 online, the free mode, is the most fun I've had. It's one of the most fun I had this generation. You know what I'm saying? And there's several games that could definitely be improved by having a real open world. You know, I'm a big Monster Hunter fan, and as we know, with Monster Hunter 4 on the 3DS, that game's gonna be open world. You know, the vibes will be open world.
Yeah.
And so Xenoblade, when I saw this game, it's the open world of it, and you first, you know, come on the game and you're first, you know, inside the colony and everything, just seeing, okay, man, this place ain't that big. And then you start walking around, so wait a minute, this place is huge. Then you start getting places where you can see the actual colony itself. You're still in the colony area, but you can see the colony way over here in the left, and you're over here in this mountain looking at it. It's like, wait a minute, dude, I was just over there. You know what I'm saying? That place, I mean, this place is huge, you know, and so, you know, there's so many great moments visually with the game, and right now in this video, if you're watching people, I'm just showing highlights of like my favorite areas in the game. You know, you can see pretty much all the places, and it's a beauty to behold. You know, I don't care if it is SD, I don't care if it is, and so keep people say jaggies and all this kind of bull crap. You know what I'm saying? This game is beautiful. You don't need to play it on Dolphin to really get how beautiful it is. You can play on your TV. You can play on your old. You don't need HD television with a component cables. You can play this regular cables on a regular 24-inch television, and you'll still see how beautiful this game is, and how it just feels like it's alive, and how big it is. And I'm telling you, I can't. You know, what is your favorite environment in the game? If you had to choose, if you can choose one.
I would have to go with the Machina Forest. That was pretty awesome.
You know what? I'm surprised because most people don't want to get a Mechanist, the actual Mechanist levels any respect, because they feel like it changes up too much. You know, I'm telling you, when I first entered the Mechanist, besides getting the very first part when you finally get in there, just that change of music, and it went from being, you know, this organic type, you know, like orchestra type vibe to like it went to like almost like an old school video game. It felt like Mega Man. That first stage when you're inside the mechanism and everything, it feels like it's a Mega Man tune that could be a Mega Man 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying? It repeats after a certain loop, but it just fits perfectly, and you feel like you're playing a 3D, you know, a big 3D Mega Man game.
The thing I like about Xenoblade, like, really much is, like, Zanza and, like, how he creates, like, these worlds. And, like, he, like, spoiler alert, for him to live on, he has to, destroy and, you know, recreate worlds. You know that? Yeah. Yeah, like, that's amazing. Like, that's...
Yeah, you know, that's the main thing. Going back to, like I said, spoiler alert, I like how, you know, the whole world of Xenoblade, it was more to it than just, like I said, humans versus robot type thing, and you kind of figure out there's these other characters, these gods and everything, and you know, Zanza, and then I can't think of what is her lady
Manus?
Say what?
Lady Manus?
Yeah, from the Mechanist. Their god, you know what I'm saying? And it's real cool that, you know, one was a male, one was a female type thing, and I wouldn't say they had a relationship, but they had this kind of like, you know, this place where they were together type thing, where they were like, you know, they understood they needed each other to survive or whatever in this whole world, this whole universe of Xenoblade, and throughout the they became like a religion in some aspects. The Mechanist people, they were worshiping her, and in the Binance, even though I don't think any of them, at least from the part I played in the story, they weren't really like worshiping Zanza or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it still was like, in some of the side quests you do, and some of the things you do throughout the game, the lore about the giants and all that kind of stuff. You knew of them or his race or whatever, his people. And so I really like that too. It gave it a whole other level of depth on top of what you already getting. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the guys who created this game, they really, really created a full-fledged, like, real world in every way. I mean, you have from the smallest speck of, like, animal life creatures, the like little bugs, to your full-fledged, full conscious human beings, whatever living life forms, and then those people have their gods and their religions, and and just everything. And I mean, that's a lot of detail to put into a game. Being Colony 6, being on the other side where the drain is. When you go inside to the drain for the first time, in that cave area, but being that area where the drain is, and being there during the daytime, and then being at the edge, and if you look down, you can see Colony 9. You can see the hole in the cave.
I mean, it's huge, man.
You can see the hole in the cave where Colony 9 is, and you can see you actually make out the buildings and things like that. And so it's like, man, this is how they got down there when the guys attacked, and then this is where I came from. And you probably can't do it, but it feels like if you jump off of that point, maybe you can aim yourself into the hole where you'll fall back into the colony. I mean, that's what it feels like, just because it's, like I said, so much detail. And being in the forest, being in the forest where where Ricky and them from and everything for the first time, and come down that path and look in the distance and seeing a huge waterfall and that river that's right there.
And when you're on the bridge, looking at the water.
And then also just seeing that tree. You come in there and notice this huge tree, and then as you walk, as you're getting closer, going through the whole area, you eventually come to the tree, and the tree is where they live. And you can go inside that tree and go from the very top to the bottom, and it's so huge and it's so detailed, man. And it's crazy. It's crazy. All I can say in this video, and I'm gonna let you get a little word in too, man. If they were able to pull that off on a Wii, man, I can only imagine what they could pull off on a Wii U or any other system. Any system. A PC, whatever. I don't care what it is. I can only imagine what they could pull off with just more memory, more power, and more everything. Because that's, Xenoblade. It's amazing.
Yes, it is, man.
So before we end this video, man, what is anything else you want to put out there on this game?
All I gotta say is Monado for life.
That's pretty much it.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. I agree with you. I mean, I would love. I haven't beat the game yet, so I don't know how it ends exactly. You know what I'm saying? But if there is some way to make a sequel to this game with the characters, I would love it.
Yes.
If they can't at least use the universe in some kind of way, somehow, or if they can't even do that, just make a game that's based off of the structure. And it don't have to be. It don't have to be, a game where you're basically walking on two huge titans in their worlds. It don't have to be anything like that, but just something, just the scope of it and the design of it, and mainly the feel of it. That's why I want another game, hopefully on a new Nintendo console, Wii U, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, everybody, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this commentary about this game. Hope you enjoyed the footage. I showed you a lot of areas throughout the game, a lot of beautiful segments of the game, especially being help me out real quick. The area
Bionis?
No, not Bionis. The top of the Bionis, where the angel people, I can't think of their names right now, where they're from.
Hyantia?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
That's why I got you in the video, man. I know you know your stuff. Being in that area and seeing all those floating platforms and buildings, and if you're there at night, seeing the stars come down and everything, and the shooting stars, that stuff is just amazing, man. So like I say, I hope you enjoyed this footage. Hope you enjoyed this commentary for Xenoblade. Go out there and get it. If you haven't, something's wrong with you. But for Xenoblade, this your boy TheWon, Jodecideion. featuring my man Nintendo Ultra.
Yo.
We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.